Okay, here are a couple of movements in your chair to be nice to your knees while working with this upright neutral pelvis. So we're going to do a no load lunge. I want you to scoot your butt to the corner of your chair so that for me here, my right butt is on the edge of the chair. My right leg is forward, my left leg is back. We're making those 90-degree bends in the knees, and both ways you're allowing the weight of your body to rest a little bit on the chair, but also be strong through your feet. So you could push yourself up. We're not giving all of our weight to the chair, and we're not slouching downward. So here we find neutral pelvis, making sure that you have that nice lumbar curve here. And you can just practice moving between a tucked pelvis, a neutral pelvis, and then a tilted forward pelvis. So you can make those movements without moving your legs. Now press your body weight down into your feet and shift back and forth by pressing through your feet. So here, pressing through the back shifts me forward a little bit, opens up that hip extension right here. We're not having to bring the knees down to the floor. And then we're making sure that that front knee is stacked with the ankle. You could put the ankle out a little bit further and kind of play with, press through the back, press through the front. So you can move your pelvis through that range of motion, playing with pelvis movement. We'd like to basically live in neutral pelvis, but it doesn't mean that tucking or tilting are bad movements. It's just if they become habitual and we get stuck there. So come to neutral pelvis, and we'll do one more thing on this side. That feeling of tucking through your tailbone, press forward, use the strength of your back leg, and open up this hip extension. Could you add a head ramp to that? Chin back, long back of your neck. Take a couple of breaths in this position, and then come back sitting on your chair. Bring both butt cheeks to the edge of your chair. Reach out with your feet. Here's neutral pelvis and a little bit of hip rotation. So you're going to see that rotation in the toes. You're driving this rotation right here at the hip joint. I'm moving my upper leg bone, the femur, in the joint there. And I'm sitting on my sit bones. So this will be harder if you tuck. It'll be harder to access that movement. So come into neutral pelvis. Let your knees be relaxed. You can feel whether your kneecaps pull up. If they're pulled up, your quads are engaged, and I want you to let that go. Soft quads, jiggly quads, kneecaps relaxed. Now engage in your hip rotation without engaging on the quads. Nice and easy. You can do it both at the same time. It can be a little bit tricky. Maybe you feel like the quads need to make this motion, but actually I want you to bring that motion up into the hip joint. So maybe try one at a time. Internal and external rotation. Internal and external rotation. So noticing what your range of motion is here, just observing. Come right to the edges of that without forcing or striving, especially through the front of your leg. Let the backs of your knees lengthen out. And then try a couple together. Internal, external, internal, and external. And then we're going to lunge to the other side. So my left butt cheek is here. I'm moving my ankle underneath my knee or slightly ahead. And then I'm letting this free leg drop down. Knee under the hip, active foot. Play a little bit with the pelvis. Tuck, neutral, and then tilt. Stabilize through your feet. Returning after your exploration to that neutral pelvis, we want to be strong through the feet so that you could push up if I asked you to do that, and then sink back down. Tucking the tailbone here gets you the extension of the hip, and I want you to push with that back foot just a little bit. We're not trying to lean forward in that push. We're staying nice and upright through neutral pelvis, but opening up the hip extensors. Active feet, neutral pelvis. Maybe a head ramp can come on top of this.